Okay, I will start now. Let others slowly join. In the last class, I have explained to you the concept of URL-lib, extracting data using URL-lib, how to do it. Basically, we are in the fifth module in which we are learning three important things, three topics in fifth module, that is network programs. The second one is web services, and the third one is database connectivity. Network programs almost we have completed the last class. I will just very quickly revise what we have done. Only one last concept remaining in network programs. Okay, that we will do it today, and then I will start with web services today. So I first explained to you people about network programs. First we understood what is a network, and then we saw what is HTTP protocol. We built our first Python program to fetch a HTML page from the server. We wrote this example to fetch the data from the server, and then after that we learned how to retrieve the image from HTTP using this small 4 lines of code, and then after that we learned retrieving web pages using URL-lib. Before this, we wrote the programs using socket programming. Then we directly used a library called as URL-lib, which is very simple to use. Now the big programs which we have written on the top, with URL-lib it can be written only in just 4 lines of code like this. And then using URL-lib to download an image that we saw, reading binary files using URL-lib. That binary file can be an image file, a video file, an audio file, and anything. So we learned that. And then we moved on, and then we understood what is the meaning of web scraping. In the last class, I explained to people what is the meaning of web scraping. Web scraping is a technique of downloading web pages from the server and extracting only useful information from it, neglecting all the other tags and everything. In the example for web scraping, we saw how to retrieve hyperlinks. We saw how to retrieve the links that are placed into HTML documents. To make people understand that, I told you that whenever you write HTML pages, everything is written between tags, like this H1 tag is there, P tag is there, A tag is there, HR tag is there. Each tag actually does something. For example, whenever you write something between H1 tag, H1 and slash H1. So this is the start of the tag and this is the end of the tag. Whenever you write something in between here, this H1 tag does something to that content. If you write something in between H1 tag, that will be displayed big and bold. If you display something between the P and the slash P tag, it will be displayed in the form of a paragraph. If you display something in the A tag, it can be displayed as a link and so on. So in HTML, everything is written using tags. Every tag has a meaning. It's a predefined tags. Tags have got meaning. So there are built-in tags which you use and write your HTML pages. Remember, this subject is not to learn HTML tags. We will be learning that in the next semester. You need to know that HTML documents are made up of tags, only that much. When the HTML document was downloaded from the server, I wanted to retrieve only the link part from this document. So I use a regular expression for extracting a href, and then we displayed all the links. We wrote a program for this yesterday. How did we write a program? We used a regular expression like this. We searched for a substring like this. We named the pattern as href. The name of the pattern was href, and what was required in the link to be there? We wanted http:/2/, and then a dot plus here represents anything at least once or more than once, like that. Okay, so we checked for this pattern in the HTML. Who's that? Please keep your audios muted. Sneha, that was from your machine, I believe. Okay. Yeah, coming back to the thing here. Yeah, it's recording. So we checked for this particular pattern, http:/2/. We checked for this pattern, and then we searched the HTML document, and wherever this pattern was appearing, we displayed that. How did we do that? We wrote this program. First of all, we included URL-lib request package. Then we imported RE. RE is Okay. So we imported URL lib.request and then we imported RE. RE was a regular expression. RE was regular expression. And then we read the URL from the user. We read the URL from the user and then we requested that URL. And whatever data came from the server, what came? The entire HTML page came. We downloaded that HTML page. It came into HTML variable. The entire HTML document came into the variable called as HTML. And then we checked in that HTML data, we checked for this pattern. We checked for this pattern. We searched using a regular expression, find all, find this pattern in HTML. And all that came into links. It came into links. Links is a list. So for link in list, then we displayed exactly all the links here. We displayed all the links here. So this is the program that we had written yesterday. What is this program? This program is to request a web page from the server by taking the URL from the user. We ask the user to enter the URL and the server, we request it from the server will send us the HTML document. We received it into a variable called as HTML, and then in this HTML document we searched for links, and then we displayed all the links. Basically, this is the program for that. And we saw the yesterday we saw an example also on that. Okay, fine then. Now we saw one example, and then you have to understand one thing, that when we requested the page came in HTML, and then by using regular expression, we used regular expression, we used the function method, we used the method find all to find this pattern, what pattern href is equals to http. To find this particular pattern in HTML, we wrote what? Regular expression, and we did this manually. But in Python, this is till here we had done it in the last class. Now remember that in Python there is one library available. Called as Beautiful Soup. Yeah, it is a strange name, I know. There is a library available called as Beautiful Soup. This library will help us to retrieve. Any data, any tag from the HTML document that is downloaded easily by using built-in functions. Very, very easy. You will see how easy it is. Now first, you must have seen here that to retrieve all the links, we have to first define the pattern, then we have to search, and then after that we have to use this regular expression of find all function, put all the links into links, and then we have to display the links. A lot of exercise is required here. But by using a built-in function, by using a built-in library called as Beautiful Soup, this can be done very, very easily. Okay, so that is what we're going to learn today, and that is the last part which is remaining in this particular chapter. What is the chapter? The chapter which we're learning is network programming. In this, the last topic that we are going to study is Beautiful Soup. It is a library. It is a built-in library which we can use all the built-in functions of this library and retrieve data very, very easily. Very, very easily we can retrieve the data. Now, you know, in these notes here, copying and pasting, there is a problem. What they have done is they have pasted up and down. And that example has gone down here in web services. It has gone. Okay, first XML, all that comes, and then suddenly here, you know, Beautiful Soup comes. Actually, this part from here to here should have been. It should have been appeared there on the top actually, but it comes down here. It has come down here. Okay, so I will explain to you people what is the meaning of Beautiful Soup. So you can see this is what I'm talking about. Beautiful Soup. You can see the spelling also. It is a library which you have to use it in your Python program to retrieve tags from an HTML document easily. This is used for retrieving tags from an HTML document easily. This is used for web scraping. You can say this is used for web scraping. Easily you can do web scraping using this. You can do web scraping easily using Beautiful Soup library. Okay, so now how many libraries you have studied so far? You have studied URL lib for requesting HTML documents from the server. You have studied RE for regular expressions, and so many others that you have studied in the process. You have to remember them all. Remember that. Okay, so now here, how to use Beautiful Soup? Let us consider an example. Let us consider the same example where we request a web page from the server. We request a web page from the server. It comes into a variable HTML, and then I want to parse through this entire document. I want to go through this entire document and retrieve only or extract only the link part, a part, you know, the a link, a tag, the link tag. I want to retrieve only that part. The same thing that I have done on the top, but by using regular expressions. Now I will be doing it using the library Beautiful Soup. Now how to do it? This is the program for that. You can see that import URL lib.request from BS4. Okay. You can see this. I will for better thing. I will copy this and paste it into the notepad so that it is easy there. Just soup example.py. Soup example.py. That is the name of the program I give. Okay, so what all we are doing here is we are importing URL lib.request. This is of course required for requesting the URL from the server. Next is we are importing Beautiful Soup. We are importing Beautiful Soup. This is a package that is required. This is the library that I was talking about. Then you also import SSL. Why do we require SSL? Is because sometimes if you request a URL, Sneha, you have any questions? You have raised your hand here. Okay, so here we import SSL. SSL. Why do we import? Is because sometimes we request a URL which is secured, which will not allow us to download the page. So that's why we require this SSL. There are a few things that you have to do here, and you have to keep it fixed. Like you have to define a context CTX is equals to SSL.create context, all that. So please do not worry about these 3 lines of code. Basically, these are used for requesting pages which are under a secure socket layer. Okay, even if you don't, I will remove that. I don't require that. Even this SSL also, I don't want to make it complicated. I'm not teaching you SSL here. We are learning Beautiful Soup. It's a library for retrieving data from web pages. So I removed that. I even removed this SSL also, don't worry. So now URL we take the URL, and then after that okay, so here what we did is we entered. Now you can see the program here. Just look at the program. So if you look at the program here, we imported Beautiful Soup, and then URL, we are reading it from the user. The URL is to be read from the user. HTML is equals to, then we request the URL. How to request the URL? We write URL lib.request.open URL.read. We do .read. And then whatever is read from the user, that will be whatever comes from the server will be put into the variable called as HTML. And then we now create a Beautiful Soup object. We write soup is equals to Beautiful Soup into bracket HTML. What is HTML? HTML is the data that has come back from the server, comma, we write this parameter here. We write this parameter here called as HTML parser. Okay, we write that HTML parser. Okay, now Govind is telling that, you know, the audio is not proper. Please, can you just chat back? Some people chat back and please tell me whether the audio is clear or not. Is it coming clearly, the audio? Govind has messaged me saying that audio is not proper. Somebody else please message me and tell me if the audio is not proper, then I think I will disconnect and connect. Sneha, Gauri says audio is clear, but some people is having problem. Akshata also says. Okay. Uh, Actually, now you try, because there was some disturbances. Now you try, see if it is clear. Okay, I will talk a little slow. Let us see if it is possible. Okay, project also says audio is clear. We will see. Okay, please hang on. Yeah, now Akshata says that it is clear. I will continue now slowly, and then let us see. So I was telling you that this is the program that we will write now to use the package Beautiful Soup to do web scraping. We will request an HTML file from the server, and we will retrieve the link part. The link part in the sense the A tag part. So for this is what we need to do. First of all, we need to import URL lib. We need to import Beautiful Soup, and then we need to read the URL from the user, request that URL, and then create an object of Beautiful Soup by passing HTML and HTML parser. After this, once we have created, now we need to extract. So see how simple it is. No regular expression required, nothing required. Look at this. You need to simply declare a list called as tags. Tags is equals to soup. Soup is the object here, you can see. Soup into bracket A. So whichever tag you want to retrieve, that you have to pass it as argument to soup. And then this soup object will check the HTML document, retrieve all the A tags, and put it into the tags list. The soup object will retrieve all the A tag. A tag is nothing but the link tag, you all know in HTML. It will retrieve all the A tag from the HTML document and put it into tags. Then you take a for loop. For tags is a list, Take each tag, take tag in tags, and then print tags get, okay, href. Display that tags, that tags href value you display. That is what it says. Print that tags. You have to use a function called as get tag dot get into bracket href. So it will display you all the links in the for loop. See how simple it is. First of all, you have to import Beautiful Soup, which is a package. Create an object of that. Retrieve the HTML page. Then from using this soup, retrieve A tags, put it into tags, then parse through all the tags for tag in tags, print the tag, print the tag. This is what you can do. So I'll save this now, file, save it, and then the name of the program is soup example.py. I go to my command prompt, and then here I soup example.py. So I pressed enter. And now it is taking a little time. It is not even, yeah, see, it is now asking me, enter the URL. So I will say www.google.com. Okay, I give it this example. I want my program to fetch this page. Which page? Google.com. First page which comes, that page I want to retrieve. And then in that page, I want to search for all the links which are there. Okay, so I press enter. It gave me an error. It is saying, it is giving me an error. Okay, I think the problem is because that HTTP is not given, that's why. So I will run the program once again. http:// that I put. Yeah, now you can see that it came properly because I had forgotten in the first time to give that HTTP. Now you saw that using this Beautiful Soup, I am able to display all the links. I am able to display all the links here. I'm able to display all the links here. See, the first link is HTTP, IMG, HL is equals to EN, tab, WI. So many links are there in that page. In which page? In www.google.com. Now, I will run the program once again by putting there is a web page that I have, http myspace.belgamonline.com. In this, let us see how many. There is nothing, because in that page there are no links at all. So that's why you saw that there are no links here. Let me try one more. I will clear the screen first. timesofIndia.com. Now this is, I think it will display a lot of, because Times of India, see how many, my God, I knew there would be so many links, because timesofIndia.com website has got a lot of links on it, and see so many has been displayed. So you can run this program. What we have done is we have requested this page, from the user, from the server. User has entered the URL. From that URL, we request this page from the server, and then in that page, which comes to the program, we are searching for the links, and we are displaying the links. And how are we searching the links? We are using the Beautiful Soup built-in library. Beautiful Soup built-in library we are using. So this is the program for that. Please, all of you, take a screenshot of this, and you can keep it with you. In the examination, if they ask you, explain with the help of an example program the Beautiful Soup library. So you have to write this program to explain it. Simple, only this much you have to write. Okay, and this is important from examinations point of view. They will ask you on Beautiful Soup questions. Fine then. So this is the end of the first chapter in module number 5, network programming. So what all we have studied in this? We have studied about how to write socket programs to write the simplest browser, how to download images using socket programs. Then we learned URL-lib library to request HTML pages in a simple way. And then we saw how to download binary files using URL-lib. Then we learned what is web scraping. We did web scraping using regular expressions. And then we did web scraping using a special library called as Beautiful Soup. Okay, and I want you people to make a note of all this. This is important. If they ask you anything in the examination, it will be only from this. Simple browser example using socket, retrieving image using socket, URL-lib, extracting binary files, web scraping using regular expressions, web scraping using Beautiful Soup. These are the things that they will ask you from this chapter, nothing else. Okay. Now let us go further. Let me see how much time we have. I think we don't have much time, but I will give you a start to what is the meaning of web services, so that tomorrow I can continue. I hope this is all clear. Okay. So far, I think it is all clear. You go through the notes also. Of course, if you have any doubts, you can please note it down in the next class. You can tell me, or in the group only you can tell me, sir, we have some doubts on Python. So we can have one class only on doubt solving and all that. So I will proceed now. So now that we have learned what is parsing HTML using Beautiful Soup, this we have seen. Now I will go back again from the top here to see what is using web services. So this we have finished, if you know. So now we have to see what is web services. This is the second chapter in module number 5. What is a web service? Now, web service, as the name suggests, is some sort of a service that is available on the internet. Service is passing data to this. It will process that and send it back to you. There are many different types of web services available on the internet. Many big companies providing web services. Then you will ask me, sir, what is this web service? In very, very simple terms, I will tell you what is the meaning of a web service. If let us say, I have a URL. URL is something which we type in the address bar of the browser. Let us say I have a URL, and in the URL, I have to pass some parameters to the web, to the server. The server will retrieve these two parameters from us, and then it will process these parameters and send us the reply back. Example. Again, there is a doubt saying that this voice is not clear. Is my voice clear? Can somebody please reply that? Is my voice clear? Can somebody please chat back and tell me? Yeah, Gauri says it is clear. Sneha, actually, there is some problem. Actually, the problem actually started from your mobile only. I don't know. Some songs started playing suddenly, then I had to mute everybody. There was a problem. So you just check what is wrong with your mobile phone. The moment I unmute you, some sound is playing there. The problem is that. Just check once again. Okay, so I will continue now, and of course, I understand there is a little problem here. There are people who have raised some chickens next to my house only. So those that chicken will always start making noise. I know in my entire recording there will be 50% I will be talking, and the remaining 50% the chicken will be talking. So so please bear with that. Now, I will just continue with where I was telling you about web services. I was telling you that web service is a service that is available on the internet. How to access this service, how to take advantage or how to use this service, you should know the URL. You have to type it in the browser, and then you will be given this service. Example, I will tell you. If Google has a service called as addition, because of the name of the service is addition. Addition is adding of two numbers. You have to pass two parameters to this service. Okay, you have to pass two numbers to this service. 10, let us say you pass 10 and 20. Okay, so whenever you request this service, you have to pass these two parameters, two numbers you have to pass to the service. How to pass it, that syntax is given, I will show you. Let us say Google has a service called as addition, to which you have to pass two numbers. What will this service do? This service will add the two numbers and give you back the result. Give you back the result. So if you pass 10 and 20 as the two numbers, the service will give you back 30 because it is the addition of 10 and 20. Well, of course, Google doesn't have this stupid or such silly service. It doesn't have. Nobody wants to add it to numbers by passing it to a web service to Google and then getting the reply back. Nobody wants an addition service. Only to explain to you people, I gave you this example. Web service is a service which you have to request it by typing the URL, by passing some parameters into it. The service will retrieve these two parameters, process it, and then give you the result back. Example I gave you is passing two integers. The service will add the two numbers, give you the result, give you the sum of the two numbers. Like this, services can be more complicated. For example, there can be a service to which I have to pass the name of the company, and then the service will reply me back what is the share value of that company. For example, share market. Even if you don't know, you must be at least knowing that all the companies which are there has got shares, and there is a cost, there is a price of each share. For example, Infosys, one share is 6,500 rupees. Wipro, one share is 3,800 rupees. Like that, each share of a company has got a value. You want to know what is the share value of any company. Let us say you want to know at any given time, you want to know in your Python program what is the share value of any company. And now Google has a web service to which you have to pass to this service the name of the company, and the web service will give you back the share value of that company. For example, if I pass Wipro as a parameter to the web service, the service will reply me back 3,800 rupees, the share value of the company. If I pass Infosys as the name of the company of which I want to know the share value, the web service will give me back 6,500 rupees, that is the share value of that company, and so on. So web service can give you some information. It can provide you some sort of a service. It can be as simple as adding two numbers, or it can be more applicable. It will be more useful services like giving you the share value of a company, which you pass as parameters. More complicated web services, if you want me to give you examples, are web services where you have to pass an image as parameter. You have to pass an image as parameter. Let us take an example of a photo. You take your photo, okay, and you send it to this service. You send this photo of yours to this service as a parameter, and the service will give you back the photos which are similar to your photo. It will give you back a collection of 10 photos which looks similar to your photo. This is just an example. This is just an example. What example I'm giving you is, I'm giving you examples of web services. A web service is some sort of a service on the internet which will provide you some sort of functionality. It can be as simple as adding two numbers when you pass parameters. When you pass two numbers to it, it will add these two numbers and give you the sum. But nobody is having such a service. This is only for an example. Or the service can be a little more useful. You have to pass the name of the company and it will give you what is the current share value of that company. Share value. Share value is what is the cost of each share. Or it can be more complicated. You have to pass your photo as a parameter and then it will give you back the list of 10 photos which is similar to your cases. So it will do image processing and then it will give you the result back. Okay. So now you have understood what is the meaning of a web service. Now let us go further and see how to implement these web services. Web services are implemented by passing data to the server. And then when the data comes back from the server, it comes back in the form of XML. What is XML? XML is extensible markup language. All this time we were discussing about HTML. HTML is hypertext markup language. What is XML? XML is extensible markup language. These are two different things. HTML is used for designing web pages. It has got predefined tags like A tag, H1 tag, P tag. But XML is not, it has got its own tags. User can create his own tags here. I'm getting this message from Sneha. Sneha, is the voice really not clear? If so, I will do one thing. Anyhow, this is getting recorded. The video will be shared with you so that you can see, you can go through the video and you can understand. Yeah, Santosh replied back saying that little disturbance is there, but the quality is good, he's saying. For some people, the audio quality is fine. I mean, for some people, it is disturbing, maybe because of the network and so. But I will anyhow record this and I will give you the link. I will share the link with you people so that you all can see the video. I will upload this. So what I was telling you is, when web services are to be used, we have to pass parameters to the web service. And the web service will give us some reply back, some result back. So for exchanging this data, to send the parameters to the web service and to receive the data coming back from the web service, we have to use some format, a format which should be understood by the sender also and by the receiver also. I'm sending parameters, the receiver should understand my format. I cannot send it just like that. I cannot just append the two. If I want to add 10 and 20, I cannot just append. I cannot just concatenate 10 and 20. 10 plus 10, 1, 0, 2, 0, like that I can send. How will the destination come to know that this is two numbers? So there has to be some format. There has to be some format to exchange data between the sender and receiver. This format of exchanging the data, is done using XML, extensible markup language. Extensible markup language is a format to exchange data between the sender and receiver. Okay. Extensible markup language has built-in tags. HTML has got built-in tags like H1 tag, P tag, and all that. But extensible markup language, remember that in extensible markup language, you can create your own tags. We can see one example. I told you in HTML, you have got built-in tags like H1, P, A, H2 tag. So many are built in. Okay, they do something very specific. But in extensible markup language, you can create your own tags. Have a look at this. This is the typical example of extensible markup language, XML, where we have defined a tag called as person. We have defined a tag called as person. Inside the person tag, we have name tag. Name of this person is Chuck. Then inside this person tag, we have the phone, email, and then /person. So you can see that I am creating my own tags. I'm creating my own tags. I've created a tag called as person. I've created my own tag called as name of the person, phone number of the person, email ID of the person. I'm creating this, and I am creating my own format. And in this tags here, I'm writing information like Chuck, CHUCK. Then I'm writing my phone number here. I'm writing my phone number here. And then after that, I have an attribute called as S here, and so on. So I have created my own tags, and I have put my data into these tags. And now if I take this XML document and send it to the server or to the web service, it will be able to retrieve the data easily, no problem, because the web service knows that between the name tag, the name is Chuck, CHUCK. Between the phone tag, I have this number, and so on. I can create my own XML document. I can create my own set of tags. I can write my own data inside these tags. So please remember that XML is a format for exchanging data. XML is the format for exchanging data between the sender and the receiver. In web services, this is used. In web services, remember, XML is used. Okay, please remember that. So we will see exactly how to create this XML document in Python, and then in Python we will learn how to pass through this XML document and then retrieve data. For example, if my XML document is person, inside that person there is one more tag called as name. Then inside this name, then there is one more, inside this person there is one more tag called as phone. Inside this person there is one more tag called as email. How to retrieve the name of the person, how to retrieve the phone number of the person, how to extract this, how to retrieve this information, that we will see it in Python. This process is called as parsing XML files in Python. We have to first load the XML file into Python. We have to first load the XML file into Python, and then we have to pass through it and then retrieve data from this XML document. This we have to learn it in the next class. In the next class, I will teach you how to parse XML document. Okay, and this is a part of web services. So we will stop here. Less than 1 minute remaining, and less than 1 minute remaining, and we will stop here. I don't want to continue. There is some disturbances also, it seems. I want Sneha to, you know, if she is there, I want her to just personally message me what is the problem. Okay, because first the disturbance started from your side only. There was a lot of sound coming, and then suddenly she said that, you know, there was a problem. So if there is any problem, Sneha, you please tell me what is it so that I can solve the issue.